Yo, what is up? What is happening? Welcome back to another episode of Those Car Dudes. Today, we're gonna show you how to replace the steering coupler in your right hand or left hand drive E46. E46 BMWs are not getting any younger, which means stuff starts to wear out. One of those things being the rubber steering couplers. Over time, rubber gets softer and softer and your steering feels less and less direct, which is not as enjoyable to drive for the enthusiast. Today, we're gonna be using this alloy one from a little company in Australia called CMP, and we're gonna chuck it in and let you know what it is like. Anyway, let's get into it. Now we've got our car jacked up, there's a couple of things we need to remove in order to access the steering joint. First one of those is on this particular vehicle, there's an aluminium plate that goes underneath the motor that needs to come down, but whatever's in the way we need to remove in order to get to that joint. So just removing the bolts from this alloy plate, a little sump shield here, and then we'll be able to access our steering joint. Now we've removed that aluminium plate from underneath the car, we can access our steering coupler, which is this guy here. But we need to remove this steering U-joint assembly, whatever you want to call it first. So we need to turn the steering wheel in the car so that we can take the Torx bolt out of the bottom here. The head is on the other side. And then we might need to turn it again to get the one on the top. And then once we've got those out, this steering column is designed to retract into the car this way. So we can actually pry up on here, maybe give it a tap of a hammer, and this should push up into the car and off the spline of the steering rack. And then we should be able to wiggle it off the top bit. And then it'll all come out, we can go on to the next bit. Now we've got our bottom bolt and our top bolt loosened. I didn't show the top bolt because it's very hard to get the camera in there, but it's exactly the same as the bottom bolt. You just need an E10 Torx socket. Undo that, and then it'll be loose enough for you to tap off. I've already tapped off most of it, but I just got a flat head and a hammer, but it's very simple. Tap on this, so it comes loose like that. Now we can grab it, and it would have pushed the column back into the car quite a lot, and you can literally just pull it off just like that. Now we've got it out of the car, we can show you how to drill out those rivets and put the new coupling on the linkage. We've got our steering linkage here mounted with our drill press. Now, if you've just got a vise and a normal drill at home, you can use that too, but if you've got a drill press, it does make things easier. So that's what we've done. Now you've got a couple of rivets here that go through both flanges of the linkage here, and the coupling sits in between that. We need to drill those rivets out, and then we can put our new coupling in, which is made of aluminium. Now, with the left and the right hand drive cars, there is a slight difference in height, but it's essentially the same concept. You're drilling out the rivets so that you can mount the new coupling between these two flanges. So we're gonna do that now, put it all together and show you how we did it. We've drilled out the first rivet on our steering linkage, which worked really, really well. I decided to play it safe, and I started with a smaller drill bit, then I went to a slightly bigger one, and then I finished it off with the 10 mil, and this rivet just popped right out when we drilled it, and that's exactly the result we want. So we're gonna do the one on the other side now, do the ones on the underside of the linkage as well the same way. These ones might be a little bit harder to get to, we'll see how we go, but once we've got all those out, we should be able to chuck that new coupling in, bolt it up, put it back in the car, and we'll have a nice feeling steering, handling E46. Found by drilling out the rivets that sometimes they spin in place, so I've used a vice grip to clamp the bottom of it and left the top exposed so that we can still drill it from the top, but it'll stop it from spinning. Once you've removed those first two rivets, you'll notice you'll be able to move your flange up and down a little more. However, there is a circlip in there that is holding this on from coming off completely. Now you can try get a pick in there and pull it out. However, I fiddled with that for a while and got a little bit sick of doing that, so I just popped a flat head in there, tapped it with a hammer a couple of times, moved around, broke it on the other side as well, and removed that circlip completely. And that meant that I was able to pull that flange off totally. Now we're going to move on to drilling out the other two of our rivets. We're going to drill them from this side this time, marking a little center point because we're not going to be able to get a drill bit past here straight on. It'll be on an angle. So we're going to drill it out from this side, remove this, pop our coupler on, good to go. I got to a point where the drill bits were often binding up and getting stuck while I was drilling them, and it's very hard to get it straight up and down 100% because it's just quite a bit of flex in this. And so what I found though is if you drill it out enough, you can get a little saw in between this little flange here, and if you just saw that off, it's off. Fantastic. We've finished drilling out our rivets, and I did a pretty good job on this one, but I overcooked it on this one, which I'm a bit gutted about because I'm hoping there's not going to be too much play in there, because that would defeat the purpose of doing this. But anyway, it's just a good reminder to always make sure that your drill bit is dead center on what you're drilling out. But learning curve for me, we're going to put it together. So basically it's super simple. This just all goes together like that. It looks awesome, and you just chuck the bolts through. So we're going to do that now and pop it in the car. The upper part of this linkage often kind of gets raised in the middle here over time. So it's important to file this down so that the surface is nice and flat. Our solid aluminium steering coupler is all installed, and what's really fantastic is there's no play. I've tightened it up even though I had overcooked one of the holes a little bit. It's feeling nice and tight, so I'm very happy with that result. With installing this back into the car, it's the same way that it came out. As long as this little slit in the metal here lines up with your steering rack, then you should be good as gold. You can pop your bolts through and your steering will be aligned the way that it was when you pulled it out. And that is how you replace the steering coupler on your BMW E46. I took it for a short drive just a few minutes ago, and it already feels so much better. The steering definitely feels way more direct, and it's exactly what I was after. We hope this video helped you guys. Thank you so much for watching today, and if you haven't already, check out some of our other videos. We've got plenty of projects, things happening on the go. It's awesome, so hit that sub button and check that out. Also, we're on Instagram, so follow that, and we will see you in the next video. Peace out.